And welcome back to Inside City Hall. Our next guest is the Conservative Party's nominee to face off against Senator Kirsten Gillibrand this November, but he's also trying to become the Republican nominee in the race as well. And here now to discuss his campaign is former Westchester Congressman Joseph DioGuardi. Thank you so much for
nice to be here,
being
Elizabeth.
with us tonight.
Thank you for inviting me.
So you are trying to petition your way onto the ballot as a Republican. Tell us what is involved in that. Have you started petitioning? How many signatures do you need?
All right. Well, it's part of the process. It's getting to the people. And in my case, you know, I do have the conservative nomination all to myself.
Right.
And in this state, it is almost impossible to beat a Democrat unless you have the Republican and the Conservative Party. Mm-hmm. So that gives me an obvious advantage. But what I need to do now is bring together the two party lines and kind of bring together the opposition against Kirsten Gillibrand. And the process now until July 15th, it's a 5-week period, I have that time to collect 15,000 signatures. Mm-hmm. And you can be sure that we are very aggressive about what we're doing. We've got volunteers from New York to Buffalo, New York City to Buffalo, and the campaign is totally involved in this. So I will have many more than the 15,000 signatures. I am confident, in fact, I'm positive that I will be in that three-way, it's now two-way, it'll be a three-way primary. And being the one that's on the conservative line, I will win that primary.
And how many, you need 15,000 total? And
15,000 total, right. But there's another little complication.
How many do you have so far?
Well, you need 15,000 total, but 15 counties. In half the counties, okay. In our state, 29 to 15, mm-hmm. You need at least 100 signatures. Now, obviously, some people might have little glitches here and there. They might challenge signatures, so we're going for at least 500 in those counties. And we're going for minimum double the 15,000. We expect to get even more. And right now, we're like a week or so into the process, and we already have thousands. In fact, we're cataloging that right now. We've got someone in the office calling and getting the totals, because we don't want to wait until the last minute and find out that we're not getting the signatures that were promised in certain places.
So you're basically, your campaign has fanned out across the state and is going, what
yes.
are you doing, going door to door?
Well, we have, you know, counties that supported me, even in the convention. Mm-hmm. Westchester County, Bronx County, Schenectady. We have many counties where the leaders themselves are actively engaged with their volunteers, with their committee people carrying my petitions. All
right. Now, if you don't succeed as getting onto the ballot as a Republican, could that be just make Kirsten Gillibrand's life so much easier in that it will splinter the Republican
Hey, I'm not thinking about
nominees?
Kirsten Gillibrand. I'm thinking about the people. The people need Joe DioGuardi. Let me tell you what.
Well, let me ask you this. I want to pursue this question because
Sure.
Some people might be criticizing, some people have been critical of what you're doing, and that you're splintering the Republican Party further if you get on. You say you're united,
I will
but
be
if you're going to
opposition.
give voters 3 chances and you're going to divide that vote 3 ways, it might make it easier for Kirsten Gillibrand, no?
Are you talking about the primary now? Or
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, the primary, she's not involved. I mean, she has her own primary, by the way.
Right.
I think you know that.
Right.
Whoever comes out of that primary, I will be the one in November. There is no doubt that someone on the conservative line who is a Republican will win a primary in New York.
Right.
And
so you don't see this as making it easier for her in any way,
absolutely
or dividing
not.
the Republican
Absolutely
Party in
not.
any way?
Hey, the party leaders decided to make a cake. Now they've got to eat it. You know, I have the conservative line, mm-hmm. and there was no way that I was going to give up that conservative line to anybody. They should have seen that, and they should have said, you know what, we want a very good chance now to beat the Democrat incumbent. We should bring these lines together. But they started to factionalize who wanted Mr. Levy, who wanted Mr. Lazio, and then Mr. Palladino, and they kind of marginalized the Senate race. But now that it's over and the dust is settled, I would think that the Republican leaders have a little bit of a pang right now because they didn't bring that together.
Well, exactly, because I would say about a year ago, many people would have said that Kirsten Gillibrand was extremely vulnerable.
Oh, she still is. Very vulnerable.
But you just said you've got a splintered party.
But I'm going to bring it together. Why do you think I'm in this? Why do you think I'm bringing my energy and my experience and my huge pull on volunteers? I've got a lot of people that want to see a certified public accountant. The first practicing CPA, Joe DioGuardi, who wrote a book in 1992, Unaccountable Congress, It Doesn't Add Up. And Elizabeth, what is my message? Easy. We're spending money we don't have. We're borrowing from countries like China that don't share our values, and we're putting the American dream in jeopardy. That message is resonating. That's why I am so far ahead in all of the public opinion polls.
Let's talk about being a certified public accountant. You've been out of Congress for more than 20 years. You've been working as a CPA and a consultant for a number of companies.
But most of my time has been as a volunteer. As soon as I left Congress, I set up a foundation called Truth in Government to travel around America. I wrote the book, came out in '92. I don't own that book. The foundation does.
All right.
I gave out free copies.
My question is, other than your experience in Congress 20 years ago, what experience do you have that could qualify you to be a United States Senator?
When you are a citizen activist, to the extent that I've been, as a human rights activist, saving the Albanian people from the genocide of Milosevic, 20 years. I started that in Congress, but I continued. How many people, Elizabeth, do you know, continued their congressional agenda without a title and accomplished it? I did it on the issue of Kosovo for the Albanian people, and I did it because I did a book in '92 that exposed the profligacy of the federal government, what we're spending off the books. What's the issue today? The national debt? What did they tell you it is? 12.8 trillion? They're lying. You have to add $45 trillion just for Social Security and Medicare. And then you have to go into the Enron-type entities, the special purpose ones. How about Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, Resolution Trust Corporation, the Post Office? These were all supposed to be self-sufficient, independent. I said in my book in 1992 that we'd have to pay up. Look what we did for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, $1 trillion.
Joe DioGuardi.
Believe me, I'm on my game.
Unfortunately, I can see that, and we hope you'll come back and talk with us again. Unfortunately, right now we're out of time. Good luck to you with your petition.
Thank you.
Keep us posted. Let us know how it goes.
Thank you very much.
All right, it's time now for a break. I'll be